The Chicago Loop Alliance says it wants to close State Street to vehicle traffic for 12 Sundays this summer. It's just one part of the organization's efforts to bring pedestrian traffic and retail dollars back to the city center as Chicago's COVID recovery continues. Joining us with more is Chicago Tonight's Nick Blumberg. Nick.
Well, Branda, city centers have been hit hard by the pandemic, and Chicago's downtown was absolutely no exception. At the Chicago Loop Alliance's annual meeting this morning, a lot of the focus was on bringing back workers, visitors, and shoppers, as well as making the Loop a more inclusive place after a year that saw some major demonstrations for racial justice. One way to bring people down is what they're calling Sundays on State. This is closing State Street to vehicle traffic from Madison up to Lake for as many as 12 Sundays this summer. Loop Alliance CEO Michael Edwards told me they've got a couple goals in mind.
To highlight local art and culture, which has been devastated by the pandemic, and give them an opportunity to shine. But then also to encourage our retailers to start bringing merchandise out onto the street or offering tours of theaters that might not yet be open, like the Chicago Theater or the Gene Siskel Theater, and even bring restaurants. And there's talk of bringing the Walnut Room down to State Street, which would be a really unique experience.
Now, the plan is for, as we said, as many as 12 Sundays from July to September. Edwards says the city and the local aldermen are on board. The Alliance is planning to put in some money, and they're looking for sponsors as well. And they're hoping to have some programmed events on those Sundays, too. It's similar to the city's Open Streets program that ran last year in places like Broadway and Lakeview, though it's not officially part of that effort. Now, the city says there is a lot of interest in bringing open streets back in some form, though that's all still a bit up in the air.
And Nick, what else are they doing to draw people back down?
Yeah, they're also launching a self-guided mural walk. That'll take you around to 22 different pieces of public art downtown. Some of them are pretty well known, others are a bit more off the beaten path. They're also planning some art pop-ups in vacant retail spaces. It's similar to a successful program that came about in the wake of the Great Recession.
It showed that the space could be activated and could be a possible location for a business. And it also was a way to highlight some of our local artists. And happily, those spaces got backfilled with real tenants, real paying tenants. And eventually we had to move out of those kind of spaces.
And what kinds of trends are they seeing in terms of people returning to the Loop?
Yeah, it's still a bit unclear, in terms of office workers coming back. Edwards says some of them, they're hearing from, say, the second quarter of this year, others perhaps not until after Labor Day. But the vast majority of businesses that he hears from have at least some in-person staff right now. And many people are eager to return, at least part-time. Now, in terms of pedestrian traffic, which drives a lot of retail and restaurant spending, that's also unclear but hopeful. The firm that does pedestrian counting in the Loop, they had a speaker there today. They say things appear to be on the upswing and that there is a lot of pent-up demand.
I'm sure there is a lot of folks wishing to get back downtown. Nick Blumberg, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And you can read Nick's full story on our website. It's all at WTTW.com/news.